But Giannis says that he knows what they need to do to slow down, to stop the Pacers. My question is, Perk, do you?
Yeah, I do. And it starts with Giannis, former Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time first-team All-Defensive Player. And Giannis, we know because of he's so great because of what? His ability to play both sides of the floor.
Yeah.
Okay? Pascal Siakam has been given the Milwaukee Bucks that work. Cooking them. Slow roast. You ever had deer meat?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yes,
no. I have not.
Look, this is what I'm saying. This postseason, it got to get better. But when I look at Pascal Siakam, he's averaging 24 points, shooting 54% from the field, shooting 50% from the three. You know how many times Giannis Antetokounmpo guarded him in these 2 games? 4. So if I'm Giannis, I'm coming into this game tonight, and I'm like, hey, Doc, I got him. Because if you cut just 8 of those points away, you put your team in position to be successful.
So you make a good point, but that point has been applicable the entire year. Defense has been their issue. Right now, in a do-or-die situation, I think that this is what's been happening. They've been digging themselves into some really big holes early in the game, and it comes down to their rotation. So let's take it to the court, because I want to explain to you why a little switch might actually be a good thing for Milwaukee. This is their starting lineup right here. Giannis, Lopez, Kuzma, Lillard, and Prince. If you look at this, the numbers, you'll see that they trailed by 10-plus points in the first quarter of both games with this starting lineup, minus 23 with Giannis, Lopez, Prince, and Kuzma on the court. So a little tweak, if you see in game 2, there was a better lineup, and that switch is moving Bobby Portis in for Lopez.
Bobby Portis, huge game 2.
Exactly. And Gary Trent Jr. actually in for Prince. And with that switch, we'll look at it once again. You see that bottom number, +2 with that type of lineup. And if you look at this lineup, it's a little bit more shooting, more versatility, more ability to switch if you're going to try to help your defense. But most importantly, you've got long, rangy, athletic people to keep up with the literal Pacers.
Yeah.
But again, great points.
Thank you.
But it wasn't better than mine. we know the Milwaukee Bucks are going to score points. Their problem, Sinead, they're not getting stops. They rank 15th in the postseason on the defensive side.
We call you Big Perk, and yes, you have the bigger point. I was just going to give a little nuance thing, because all of us love to watch the Bucks, and these types of adjustments might pay off if they can't do defense like they've been doing all year.
Right. The Pacers have averaged 120 points in this series. The Milwaukee Bucks have to change something. And also Damian Lillard, you have to wonder if he's going to get his legs back under him a little bit more in this game, too. He hadn't played since March 18th.
What was he, 4 for 13? Our amazing stat Williams can verify that in my ear. But, he's going to shoot the ball better. And one thing I love about Dame, no matter if he shoots 0 for 15 or 15 for 15, you're going to guard that man. But there's Jan. Normally he comes in the sweatsuit. He's got the drip. Perk. The drip.
That is the drip. But going back to Dame real quick, he's back at home. So you know how it is being back at the crib, right? You get to use your stuff in the facility, your cold tub, compression, you know what I'm saying? Treatment on your body.
How do you hear this music and not go, baby girl?
Well, while the Bucks are trying to stay alive in Milwaukee, the Lakers, the Wolves, they're throwing haymakers in their first 2 games.
That's exactly what they do.
Look, see, that's a camera, no Kia.
But has either team found the blueprint for a knockout blow? We'll set up for the mayhem.
A lot of eye contact going on.
Baby girl.
Luka for 3. Woo! James hit the ball. Pyle drives inside. What a feed by Doncic.
Down the lane, look out, he'll jam it over Jackson Hayes. How about that finish from Ant in traffic?
I got hits, I got bucks, I got new paper cuts, I got friends, I got foes, but they all sitting ducks. Hit his turf finger cracking, double back like a deluxe.
Going into Minnesota is going to be a war. We got to stay together. We 1-1. It's nothing better to be.
Squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up.
Welcome back to NBA Countdown, presented by Hennessy.
It's time to show you who's made for more, brought to you by Hennessy. Luka Doncic is certainly made for the postseason. He's the second player to average at least 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists through his first 2 playoff games with the franchise in NBA history. He's joined Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He also did it with the Lakers in 1977. And Luka has done it all for Los Angeles so far this series. He leads the Lakers in both total points and rebounds this postseason and ranks tied with LeBron James for the most assists on the team. But this is what he does. Doncic has led his team in total points, in rebounds, assists in 8 playoff series in his career. That's tied for second most all time, behind only LeBron James. Doncic has also done this in his last 6 series he has played in, the longest streak of all time. But Luka can't do it by himself, and honestly, neither can I. Shanae, Perk, I think it's time to go shot for thought on all things Lakers Wolves.
Yeah, it's time to go shot for shot, big bro versus little sis. Let's go. We got to do it, but we got to end up. Bro, why you leave me hanging? I'm just kidding. This is where we break down the Lakers T-Wolves matchup, and I'm going to talk about a specific one, Rudy Gobert, and how he's playing defensively. Now, a lot of people saw versus Luka that everyone was like barbecue chicken. We were in the building. Everyone got up for plays like this because Luka is capable of scoring, but actually in game 2, Rudy held him to 2 of 8 shooting. Now, I know Luka drew some fouls, but this actually is an effective strategy. In game 1, you think about it, 4 for 13. That's what Rudy held the Lakers. 5 of 17 in game 2. Defensively, you're able to keep him, especially in the fourth quarter, in isolation without bringing double teams, without sending the help. He's outside. This is a 7-foot center that's moving them puppies, slamming them puppies against Luka. And what did he do? He forced him to take maybe 5, 6, 7 dribbles in a fadeaway three.
Actually 11.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you counted 11? Good
11.
job. Good job. Well, Rudy Gobert, even though it may not feel like it, he's actually doing a pretty solid job defensively. You know, game 2 versus Timberwolves, 11 isolations versus Rudy. He actually won the numbers matchup, even though his team lost, Perk.
Do you know what happened this past January?
What?
Anthony Edwards reached out to Michael Jeffrey Jordan about how to attack and go offensively against a double team, right? He didn't reach out because of the regular season. He reached out because of moments like right now, right? Where he's seeing double team, isolation, right? Anthony Edwards, the Lakers are too smart. They're going to show you 2 bodies right here, right? They're going to show you, they're going to trap you, they're going to load up. Anthony Edwards isolated so much in his last game. I thought he took too much on. 19 isolations, most in the game in his career, right? But then on the other side of it, you got to realize this. He's going against one of the most high IQ guys to ever play the game, and LeBron James, senior citizen, who been sliding those puppies. And watch LeBron right here. People are like, oh, he's not giving much offensively because he's doing everything defensively. And when you look at this right here, Lakers, 49%, right?
Yeah.
What?
You know what's crazy?
What?
Look at these numbers. Aren't they close, Perk?
Yeah, they're real close.
That means that this next game is pretty much a toss-up. Look at the difference. It's only 0.1% difference between these two teams. But you make a really good point, Perk. Sometimes we talk about, Ant can take over games. He's capable of 40, but his team loses. Don't you feel like maybe it's 20 and 12, 20 and 8?
Not tonight. Not tonight. Game 3, I don't need him to be Anthony Edwards. I need him to go viral. I need him to be Ant-Man. Yeah.
Well, someone who
Just like
always does that is LeBron James, and he's played in a lot of playoffs, y'all. You said senior citizen, Perk. We know he holds the records in the NBA postseason history, right? But look at this. From April 15th to June 21st, he's played a playoff game on every single day of the calendar in his career. The only player to ever do that.
That's unreal.
So essentially, every day is some sort of anniversary for LeBron. So it has to call for something special for a flashback. This date, 7 years ago, he hit one of his NBA record 5 playoff buzzer beaters.
Look who all up in the mix.
Yeah, you had a good seat for that.
I did. 1,500 claps I averaged this series.
Yes, sir. I should have got 1,700.
There you are. LeBron James. What does he have in store tonight? After being doubtful and then upgraded to questionable, our Shams Charania says Jason Tatum is going to give it a go in this game after missing game 2 with that wrist issue.
Unfair.
He's going to be playing through some discomfort, but he is going to give it a go for Boston.
Physicality of these teams.
I like watching them bleed on the court. I think it's important.
No, I love my WWE moments for sure.
Banchero with the poster.
You just got to keep fighting, man. They did what they're supposed to do. I'm looking forward to holding down home court.
It's a fee.
2 J's in, 1 J out here for the Boston Celtics. Drew Holiday will not play in this one, but Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they will give it a go in this game 3 in Orlando. So it's time now for pick and roll. All right, a little bit later on ESPNU, we have the Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks. Shanae, who you got winning that game?
It better be the Milwaukee Bucks. You have Dame back with a game under his belt. You have Giannis, who's averaged, 35 and 12 on 65% shooting. And Dame, okay, that's a fit. That is some drip. he got the shades on inside, you know he means business. So I'm going with the Bucks before even seeing his outfit.
All right, we saw the odds, the percentages, and it's barely any different here in our nightcap between the Lakers and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm going to make Perk go first. Who do you got in this one?
Who's at home?
The Minnesota Timberwolves.
Role players play better where?
At home.
I'm expecting big things out of Nas Reed, Dante, and I'm damn sure expecting big things out of Anthony Edwards. He's going to be Ant-Man tonight. I'm going with the Timberwolves.
You know what? I thought that the Lakers would roll with the momentum that they built, but I'm going to go with the T-Wolves as well. I think this is the guy that is the most motivated after a loss, and Edwards, and he's smiling already.
This means I have to go with the Lakers because when it happens, we all pick the same way. It never goes that direction.
But this might be that Friday it happened.
Here. Oh, there you go. Well, if you want to watch some hoops, flip it on over to ESPN. If you want to watch the second night of the NFL draft, stick right here. We will see you at halftime over on ESPN.